Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here because that's what's going to be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for tuning in. The continued support, I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I am part of another collab video, but this is with my girls at the Black Hat Book Coven. These are three lovely ladies that I've been doing a book club with for going on a year and a half now. Yeah, wow. That's crazy. But we decided to get together and just do a collab video of some witchy books that are on our TBR that might appear in next week's panel of books. So if you'd like to find out what books I would like to read that are witchy, that are currently sitting on my shelf that are witchy, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. Okay, like I said, this is a collab with the ladies at the Black Hat Book Coven. If you're not familiar with the Black Hat Book Coven yet, well, that means you're new because I've been part of them for almost a year and a half now. And what it is it's a group of girls that we get together once a month and we read, blah, blah, blah. I can't fucking talk today, guys. We read witchy books. That's a fucking tongue twister. God damn. Yeah. And I'm sober and I can't even say that. That's annoying as fuck. Anyway, we get together and read witchy books. And my other lovely members of this coven are Becky from Becky Reads, Laura from our book circus, and Kristen from Kristen Craves Books. And I will link them all in the down box below. We have a playlist of all these videos. We are actually uploading this all the same day. So there's gonna be a plethora of witch recommendations out there. Now, what I do need to make preface is that I have not read any of these. These are just books that are currently, for me, sitting on my shelf. I only picked physically owned copies of books. I didn't want to go into my Kindle. I didn't want to go on Goodreads. My videos are already hella long, guys. If I did my Goodreads list, I need at least a 12-pack, not just one soda and a fucking drink, okay? Let's just be honest. We be here all damn day, and my husband wants to watch TV. As you can see the TV behind me, he wants to watch football games. So, I'm on a time crunch. So I decided to narrow it down to just books that I physically owned. Now, for the other girls, I think they did a plethora, kind of a mix, but these are all books that I physically own that I have not read. So I actually do not know if these are good. So if you're picking a book up based off of this video and you don't like it, don't fucking come for me. Because I didn't read the bitch, okay? I didn't read it. I wanted to read it for one reason or another. But if you did read it and it sucks, let me fucking know. Just say, hey, don't waste your time. It fucking blows, okay? Just letting you know. So let's get started. I've kind of broken this up into a little bit of categories to kind of make it a little bit easier for my ass. But yeah. So the first grouping I have are books that are part of series. These are witchy books that are part of series that I have currently started the series. So I have started this series. I just have not started this book that I'm about to talk about. The first series is, of course, I mean, can you really recommend Witchy TBR books if you don't talk about The Witcher? It's in the fucking title. Okay, I have started the Witcher series. This is the first installment to the actual bulk of the series. This is The Sword of Destiny. There is a book prior to this, The Last Wish, which is a collection of short stories. I have read that book. Personally, I don't know if you actually have to read that book to understand the rest of the series, because it is just a collection of short stories. However, my husband has read this entire series, and he suggests that you do read the collection of short stories first because it gives you a nice intro to Geralt. Sorry. I'm getting Labyrinth and Witcher mixed up, guys. Sorry. Geralt, who is our main Witcher. And our Witcher is kind of a mutated human. He was taken at birth and was given this potion and put through this training where he's not really human, but he's not really paranormal either. He has to actually take a potion to enact this, and he's not really likable, but he goes around and kills all the monsters and demons, and you do encounter witches. There are a plethora of other paranormal creatures in this series, but you do encounter witches, and there is a main character of, crap, what's her? Yennefer. Yeah, I knew it was something similar. She casts spells, so she's one of our main characters. So she's kind of our really like hardcore witch character, and everybody else is kind of goes along. But this is the first installment to the actual bulk of the series. So, and this is the illustrated copy. My husband bought me the whole series for Christmas one year. These are the illustrated ones. Now, if you have heard of The Witcher. It might be because of the show on Netflix starring Henry Cavill. No longer starring Henry Cavill, but I'm not going to get into that. We're not getting into that, okay? So, if you've seen that show, honestly, I can't tell you if it compares and contrasts. There's tons of videos here on YouTube comparing and contrasting the series to the show. Watch those if you like. I wanted to read the books because of the show, let's be honest. But my husband got them for me, and he has read all the books, and he says they're quite good. And he's not a huge reader, but he flew through these. So that gives me a huge thumbs up. Definitely want to pick these up soon. Another series I have started that I would like to continue is the Witchlands series by Susan Dennard. The first installment that I have read is Truth Witch. And this is about a group of two friends, and they can see the lines. One of them can see the lines that connect to each other, and the other one can detect truth and lies, which is a very powerful witching power. I really enjoyed the friendship and the coven within this book, and that's one reason why I want to continue the series. And the next book in the series is Wind Witch. I'm assuming the witch that we're talking about has wind powers. There you go. It's really hard to talk about books that you haven't fucking read, but there you go. This is a series that I would like to continue. This is also YA, one of the few YA series that I'm actually excited about, and I've had a really good time with. I definitely enjoyed this one. I've recommended this one in other Witchy TBR videos, which I'll link here. And I would like to continue with it with the next book. And I do have the entire series of this. I do own the entire series. The next series that I like to continue that is witchy related is Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. This is the first installment to The Wicked Witch of the West. Okay? It's the first installment. It is about Wicked. If you've seen the musical, if you have been familiar with the movie that's coming out this year, this is the source material by Gregory Maguire. This is it right here. However, I have a full book review of this book. I'll link it here. Something you need to know before going into this. If you are a fan of the musical and you've not read the book, go in reading this book without pretending you have not seen the musical, because you will be sadly disappointed. Okay? You will. However, if you go in this without having seen the musical, I think you'll have a really good time. Now, I have read this book and the next installment, which is A Son of a Witch. I have not read the remaining two, which is, what are they called again? I don't remember. A Lion Among Men. And there's one more. I can't remember what the other one's called. But I did have a good time with this book, but watch the review. It's one of those things that I've seen something based off beforehand, so it did skew my view of the book, for sure. But I definitely want to continue with this series because there's a spin-off series by Gregory Maguire, The Bridges of Marcour. This is volume 1 of One Another Day. This is a new series based off of the children from this one. Yeah. I love a good family lineage, guys. Love a good family lineage. Okay? So definitely on my TBR to keep an eye for. I have been asked by some viewers to actually do a updated review of this. So maybe I might do this next year as a series to read and vlog and re-review. I don't know. I'm still in the works about it. Okay. Another series I have started that I really had a good time with, and so far the first installment is a 5-star. This is a dark romance. This is much smuttier than anything else I've recommended so far. So if you're looking for a smutty witchy book, here you fucking go. This is the Immortal Coven series by Amara Ray. This is Lifeblood. This is the first installment, and this was amazing. I read this book in 2 days. I took it on a road trip, and I literally read it up there that night and finished it. Like, so 2 sittings, but it was a combination of 2 days. This thing was just, She does fated mates so fucking well. So well. That relationship is earned. It is not just like, oh, well, they're fated, so we're just going to kind of go with it. Absolutely not. This bitch makes you earn this relationship, even though you know it's going to happen. I loved it. The next installment is Hydrus. I'm still in the process of working through this series, and so this is on my TBR, eventually my Witchy TBR list to get to, because I had such a good time with this one. This one follows Colette and Mackay, And then this one is Naya and Finnerador. I remember Naya, I don't remember Finnerador from this book. So that's where your caregiver comes over. And there are 5 installments to this series, I believe. I believe she released one more right after I bought this whole series. She actually released the 5th one, and I don't have that one yet. So this is on my shelf. And one more series that I have that I've started that I own in its entirety. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to read these. Okay, I'm gonna be perfectly honest about it. This was a book that was actually picked for our Black Hat Book Coven, and it was mutually hated by all. Except it's super short, and there was a deal going on Amazon when we picked this book, so I bought the entire series. So on it is the Salem Witches series. I have read The Witch's Lament by Kathy Walker. I don't recommend this. However, this is a video about books, witchy books that are on my TBR. This is technically on my TBR. I own it. So I own the other 2. I get so much shit for this, guys. Okay, I get shit for this every single book club about buying these damn things. In total, I spent $7 on all 3 of them. Like, it was a super good deal. Okay, so maybe I will do a torture video of actually reading these, like a torture vlog of me just finally reading them and being like, nope, I'm fucking done. Deuces, I'm out. I don't know. But if you're looking for something that reads really, really fast and you need it for like a read along or, you know, just a venting book video and you want a witchy theme for like the Halloween season, these are great candidates for it. Great. But at least the first one is. I haven't read the other 2. I'm still waiting. So those are series that I've currently started, and I would like to continue. The next grouping is series that I have not started, but I do have some books in this series, so it's definitely a series I want to pick up. And the first one is, with no surprise, Julius Cross's Stay a Spell series. I have all the installments except the last one. So the first one is A Wolf Gone Wild, Don't Hex and Drive, Witches Get Stitches, and Always Practice Safe Hex. And I can't remember what the last one is called off the top of my head. It's the yellow one. But I bought these strictly because Jen over the Book Refuge raves about this series, and that woman has never steered me wrong. Every book she's ever recommended that I have read, I have loved. So here you go. Here's another series. She actually recommended this guy, and that's one reason why I picked it up. And I was not wrong. She was not wrong. It's 5 stars. So I have high hopes for this one. They are a little bit chunkier, and I know this is a very popular set here on BookTube, but I do have it, and it's on my TBR to read one day. And the spines are just so pretty, guys. They're just so pretty. I love the aesthetic of these books. So, on the TBR for sure. The next one is, I think there's only 2 books out in this series currently, and that is Payback's A Witch by Liana Harper, and there's another one out that I know for sure. I just can't remember the title of it off the top of my head, and it's probably not in here. No, it's not. But this is, The Witch is back and ready for revenge with a little help from her friends in this fresh, sizzling rom-com by Liana Harper. The Witch is back and ready for, wow, that's a lot of rhyming. So this is on my TBR to read. I eyeballed this. I almost put this one on my October TBR because I needed a witchy book. And I almost put this on there, but I ended up putting up something else. So, but I love the cover of this one. Isn't it pretty? I love it. This next book, I actually tried reading when I was really young, like 6th grade. I was wanting a book, and my sister had a bunch of books, and I asked her if I could borrow a book, and this is the one that appealed to me. This is The Mist of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. Is this necessarily about witches? No. This is more like a Camelot Arthur retelling, but we do encounter Merlin, and he is a wizard, so it fits. And it's my TBR. If I think this is witchy, I think it's witchy. Okay, right now you read traditional witchy. But I tried reading this when I was really little, didn't fucking understand it at all. Didn't understand it. but I just love the cover. And because my name is Jackie Kennedy and the whole Camelot thing, I'm just kind of obsessed. I have a lot of books that are around Camelot or Camelot lore, Camelot retellings, strictly because of that. I've also loved the story of Camelot since I was a little kid. My mom actually had a music box that played the theme song from Camelot, the Broadway story, that was in my room when I was a little girl. So Camelot's always been kind of a thing with me. So I definitely want to give this a try. It is a chunker, and it is the start to a series, but I currently don't own any of the other books in this series. So this is the reason why I didn't put it in that category. This is a series I want to start, but I don't own any of the other books in it. But it's so pretty. It's just a very pretty book. Like, it just is. And the next book, okay, so when I originally picked this book, I remember when I bought this book. Remember, it was a hot minute ago. Hot minute, guys. But I'm a history major. I love history. I also like witches. And when you take witches and you take history and you morph them together, it's probably going to be a good time for Jackie. Probably going to be a good time for Jackie. Probably going to have a great time with it. And I believe that this one did this. And so I've been holding on to this bad boy. This is A Declaration of the Rights of Magician by H.G. Perry. I really have no idea what this book's about. I knew a long time ago, but I don't now. So we're going to find out together because I might be picking this up sooner than I thought. A sweeping tale of revolution and wonder in a world not quite like our own. In the Age of Enlightenment, a new and magical political movements from the Mesmer Robespierre calling for revolution in France to the weather mage Toussaint Louverture leading the slaves of Oh my God, so many big words. Saint Dominique in their fight for freedom to the bold new Prime Minister William Pitt weighing the legalization of magic among commoners in Britain and abolishment throughout its colonies overseas. But amid all the upheaval of the early modern world, there's an unknown force inciting all of the human civilization into violent conflict, and it required the combined efforts of revolutionaries, magicians, and abolitionists to unmask this hidden enemy before the whole world falls to darkness and chaos. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. There is a sequel to this that I am aware of, and I do own the sequel. I don't know if there's any more out, but I do own the sequel to this one, and it's also a really cool looking book. It really is. It really is. So I'm excited. So. All right. So that's some of the series that I would like to start. And here are some, what I believe are currently standalones. If it is a series to start, I don't believe there's any other installments currently out at this time. So that's why it's in here. So if there isn't one in here that you know is a series, it's because I didn't know there was another installment out. Okay. I only did my homework so far. The first one is a second author appearance. I mentioned Susan Zenard's Truth Witch series. She has this book that came out a little while ago, The Luminaries. I really enjoyed the cover of this. I love this skull. It's very Georgia O'Keeffe to me. I fucking love this. I strictly bought this on a cover, and also I knew the author because I already read one of her books. So that was a twofer, probably gonna enjoy it. Another YA book. I don't remember anything about this. I don't at all. Winnie Wednesday wants nothing more than to join the Luminaries, the ancient order that protects Winnie's town and the rest of humanity from the monsters and nightmares that rise in the forest of Hemlock Falls every night. Well, you have Wednesday, Winnie, and Hemlock. Yeah, that's witchy enough for me. The next book I know is, it's kind of popular here. I've seen a few people talk about it, and that is The Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. I think you say this is one of my Book of the Month books, and this is about a witch hunter and a witch falling in love. I know this is the start of a series, but I don't believe there's anything else out regarding it. And this was one of my Book of the Month books, as you can see the little guy up there. But enemies to lovers, doesn't get more high stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love. Yeah, so it's romantic fantasy, witch hunter, witch. Awesome. You can't really go wrong with that combo. I do love a good enemies to lovers. It's awesome. So there we go. Don't mind my hand. My phone's being weird. The next one I have is kind of, it's more historical based witchcraft than it is witchy. And I really love history and witches together. That's why I have so many that kind of, they're not your stereotypical rom-com witchy, you know, homegrown ones. I like the more darker of the witches, and that's what I gravitate towards mostly. But this is Leigh Bardugo. I have never read a Leigh Bardugo book, but this is her newest one, The Familiar. This is about the Spanish Inquisition, which literally its whole purpose was to hunt witches. Okay? Like, and this cover. Come the on, man. This thing is gorgeous. I fucking love this cover. And look at the fucking end papers. Oh. I love it. It's so pretty. I've heard really good things about Leigh Bardugo's writing, but I have also heard that it's a hit or miss. Some people really liked, I think it was Ninth House was really popular, but like another book in that same series was bad, like was kind of a hit or miss. I'm not quite sure remember, but Spanish Inquisition, people, Spanish Inquisition. Like, and look at this. This was my most anticipated releases this year. Haven't read it yet, but the book is stunning. Now you know why it was an anticipated release. Spanish Inquisition, gorgeous cover, gold, yeah. Sprayed edges, yeah, nice. This book was strictly a cover buy, and I bought it because my friend Becky, part of this collab, actually posted it on one of her Instagram reels, and it looked witchy, and I thought it was cool, and I'm using it for a challenge this year to read, and that is someone you can build a nest in. So I would love to tell you what this book's about. I can't, because part of the challenge is me not knowing what this book is about. I have to pick it up blind. But you see, there is a stereotypical witch, so I'm putting it on a Witchy TBR. There you go. This is another book that I picked up because of Becky. She read it, and I don't think she really enjoyed it as much, but it sounded like something I would like, and that's The Cloysters. This is set in New York, and yeah, at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and this girl is getting a job there, and she's sent to the Cloysters, where I think she's working on like tarot cards or something, and it just sounded really, really cool. But look at this book. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's a very pretty book. It's a very pretty book. So, another witchy feel TBR book. This one is not your stereotypical witchy book either. This one is more of a non-traditional part of some of the witch lore, and a lot of the reasons why a lot of people were considered witches was some of their healing abilities, healers, because of what they could do, what they could put things together, and what the aftermath of it was, the healing capabilities. So I picked this book up because I thought it gave kind of a different witchy feel to me. It's not necessarily about witches, but it gives me that healing witch vibe that sometimes I look for, and that is the Love Elixir by Augusta Stern. This is another book of the month book for me. But it's about a pharmacist, Augusta Stern, in Brooklyn in the 1920s. So not necessarily witchy, but kind of still gives that vibe of pharmacy, old school pharmacy, where you really had to know what things did when you put them together. And in some eyes, that could look like witchcraft. I mean, my husband thinks I'm a witch because I can fold a fitted sheet. Okay? He literally says I'm a witch because I can fold a fitted sheet. So sometimes mundane tasks, or not everyday tasks, but sometimes what could be considered everyday tasks for other people could be some sort of witchcraft in and of itself. So I thought this was a nice little addition to it, especially if you were looking for something different, because let's be honest, I'm different. We all like it. It's fine. Speaking of book of the month, I have a lot of book of the month books that are about witches. This is another new one for me, The Book of Witching by C.J. Cook. I don't really know what this is about. A mother must fight for her daughter's life in this fierce and haunting tale of witchcraft and revenge. I put on this list because it literally had a raven and witching in the title. That's how I knew it was on this list. Because when I picked it, I knew what it was about. But now I don't. So I had to just kind of go based off of when I was creating this list. I was just kind of going off of covers, what I knew, what I remembered about the book. So yeah, but it's got 2 elements of witchcraft, witching, and it's got a raven. So yes. Another standalone book. I actually bought this for the Black Hat Book Coven as possible choice when it comes around for our choices, and that's the book of Gothel, a memoir of a witch. Gothel, I know very little about the Gothel fable, but if I remember correctly, she's the witch from Rapunzel. I believe she's tied into that, or maybe that's just because she was entangled. I'm not quite for sure, but I saw this and I thought it would be a really good pick for the Black Hat Book Coven. So when it came time around for us to pick new picks, I thought about this one as putting it as a possible option because it's literally the memoir of a witch. It fits the criteria of witchy. And one other book that I have 2 more books, but this book I put on here because this is for my nerds, okay? These are for my nerds that, you know, play D&D, play Magic the Gathering, that really embody the stereotypical witch potions shit and really wish we could do it. I'm a huge fan of the show Vox Machina on Prime. Now, I was not aware of what Vox Machina was until the show came out, and then since the show came out, my husband and his friends have all educated me on how Critical Role, the group that did Vox Machina, came about. And they have actually released a series of books, and this is one of the books in Critical Role. This is Kith and Kin Vox Machina. This is about our elven twins, 2 of our characters in Vox Machina. Now, they are not witches, but they do spells. There are spellcasters. There are some shady witchy shit in this show. So I'm pretty sure there's some shady witchy shit in here, okay? He can fly and she can shoot magic fucking arrows. All right? And there's another character that, you know, carries a revenge gun with a ghost in it. And then we have a... What is the dwarf? What kind of character is he?
There's 2 dwarves.
The one that sings songs. Who is he?
There's a halfling.
Oh, there's a halfling.
There's 2 halflings.
There's 2 halflings. One that does magic and one that fucks a lot of things. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like this is a witchy recommendation for some of my D&D nerds. And I'm proud of you. So keep rocking it. And if you didn't know that Critical Role is a book series, they have a fucking book series, guys. I've got 2 of these books, actually. So that's actually really cool. The last book on this Witchy TBR is actually one that's going to be read very, very soon because it was my pick for the Black Hat Book Coven for the end of the year. And that is the Briar Book of the Dead. Right here. I picked this book for the Black Hat Book Coven. I also picked it because it's super fucking pretty. Super pretty. And also, people in my book club had already heard of this book, so I was ecstatic. So yeah, there you go. Those are some of the books that are on my TBR that are witch related that I have not read. Now, mind you, these are only the physical books I owned, and this was a tertiary glance. I didn't really go in that depth to dive in because I can only go to so many nooks and crannies of my bookshelves. So I guarantee you there's more hiding in there. But if you ever pick up one of these books, let me know and let me know what you thought. But understand that I have not read these. So if you don't like it, please don't come for me. But if you do like it, please let me know so I can move it up on my TBR. But if you like any more recommendations, please go check out my Black Hat Book Coven members, Laura, Becky, and Kristen. They'll all be linked down below along with the playlist. But until next time, guys, stay witchy and have a happy Halloween.